Okay, so we're going to solder in the sleeve right now. Now I've cut up my easy solder. Remember, it's easy solder for this one. I just removed the oxides with the red aluminum oxide pad. I actually painted on a little bit of flux directly onto the solder, and then I cut the solder. I have these solder bits here. Now I was trying to decide what the best way to proceed with this is. Now I want to avoid oxides because I don't want to have to do a lot of cleanup around here because our lid needs to fit, right? So I'm kind of back and forth on the best way to do this. So I think what I'm going to do is, just to do an experiment, half of it I'm going to actually add some flux first and then add the solder. The other one I already have a little bit of flux on my solder, but I'm just going to keep it on the solder, not add any excess flux. So I'm going to do half of it with some kind of watery flux, not very thick at all, because I want to get it to get down in the seam, like right down in there a little bit. So I'm gonna just paint some around. Okay, it's very, very thin, and I'm doing half of it this way, and then the other half I'm not actually even gonna add any flux to the seam. And let's see if it even makes a difference. Maybe it's not gonna make much difference. Okay, now I need my tweezers, which would be helpful. Where did they go? Sometimes they're sitting right on top of your bench pin, but oh, here they are here. All right, so I'm gonna start adding my my solder. I want it to be up on this edge here, standing up. Ooh, that's too much there. And I'm going to actually put a fair amount in here because really the entire sleeve that's in there should be soldered in the end. And there's quite a bit of metal to cover there. So let's get in here. Oh, I know this is time consuming, but let's get in here. Now, sometimes easy solder isn't the easiest to work with. It does tend to, because it has, oh dear. Now, if you knock your solder in here, make sure you remove it, right? Because we don't want solder in where it's not supposed to be. Oh, as I was saying, sometimes easy solder is, it has a tendency to get more pits. I don't love easy solder that much, and I will avoid it, to be honest, but let's try this solder. Now it may seem like I'm adding an awful lot of solder, but I want the entire seam, or the entire sleeve, to end up soldered in the end. So, I think I'm just about done. Pushing that right up there. Oh, maybe a couple more over here. This guy, I want him to stand up. And we'll add one more. And then hope for the best. All right, we're gonna go for it now. So, I want to draw it into the tube. So we're going to do a lot of, first I'm going to make sure my solder's stuck on there. Just come in gently, just in case some of it's wet, it might pop off of there. Oh, that one little piece is a little close. Here. I'm going to heat up the outside a little bit too. Oh, went very quickly. Okay, I'm going to try and pull that solder around. I might have to reflow some of this. Come on, baby. Got one piece that wasn't a nice piece. Oh, get going. All right, I think that's enough. All right. Let's take a look. I think I'll probably have to add some more solder, but let me see. Take a closer look here. Yeah, I have to add a little more. I'm gonna do that while it's still hot. Hopefully we don't have too many oxides because it doesn't like to reflow if there are too many oxides in there. So let's hope for the best. I'm gonna try and stick this on. It might not like it. I might just stick my brush to it. Oh, get in there. Nope. There. That one in there and I don't know. Let's give that a try. I'm pretty sure, oh, and there's one other spot I think I want to try and add a little more. Do that while it's still hot. The other thing is also, if the sleeve is too loose, it sometimes will sink. And that's quite disappointing when that happens. Oh, that was pretty quick. Come on, flow. Yeah, my solder's not flowing really nicely, and that may be because I don't have enough. Move that along. Come on. Yeah, I don't like easy solder. Okay. I'm gonna let that cool, take a look at it, and we'll see how it went. Okay? Okay, so the experiment we did in the last video where I added flux to the seam, some watery flux, versus not adding it, definitely add the flux. Definitely. The area that did not have that flux added in, the solder did not run it into the seam, and I'm pretty positive that's the reason why. So what I've done is I had some lumps now of solder that I needed to fix up, which is kind of disappointing because everything else was looking really good. So what I've done is filed those off, partly filed them off, so there's a little less solder, but also it'll tend to run a little bit better. I'm adding some solder into that area, or some flux, and I'm going to try reflowing that, and hopefully that will, then I can get a nice line of solder rather than that lumpy stuff. Okay, so sometimes just reflowing the solder, even if something's completely soldered, it helps to reflow it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in. Hopefully I can do that nicely. I don't know, we'll see. So I know I was complaining about easy solder and how horrible it is, but in this case it was really just my fault because I should have had flux down in that seam. Okay. So, and you also notice how quickly that flowed, and some of it flowed up the sleeve rather than down to the box, which means what? It means that it was way too hot on the top of the sleeve. But of course that makes sense because it's thinner material, and I wasn't paying enough attention. So I'm trying to heat lower down into the box, and that will help draw it down. I'm gonna it's getting hot enough. It's very close, it's gonna run. And let's get in here, try and draw it down and around. Ooh, let's see how the reflow goes. Oh, it's better. That improved. It's not running quite as much as I would like, but I think it may have to do. I may just have to get in there. Oh, no, that helped. I came in and drew it down a little bit. So what the good thing here was that I was able to get in and helped pull it down, because that was the hottest point right down inside there. Woohoo! Okay, let's pickle this, and then we can start on the final phase of our cleanup. And you can, one other thing that you can see here, but it's not a problem, is that there is where the seam was on my sleeve. Actually, you know what? It's as it was before.